Chapter 8. Reunited. Back home. Nadya can't bear it any longer. The days without news of Ivan have stretched into weeks, each moment an eternity of uncertainty and fear. She tries to lose herself in her work at the hospital, in her plans for peace, but the gnawing absence of the man she loves is a constant ache in her heart. And so, with a determination born of desperation, she sets out into the narrow streets of Kiev, searching for any sign, any whisper of Ivan's fate. She moves like a ghost through the rubble, her eyes haunted, her spirit unbreakable. It is on the outskirts of the city that she finds him at last, a ragged figure limping towards her through the dawn light. For a moment, she can't believe her eyes, can't trust that this isn't just another cruel dream. But then he speaks her name, his voice hoarse with exhaustion and emotion, and she is running, flying into his arms with a cry that is half sob, half laughter. They cling to each other like drowning sailors to a life raft, their tears mingling as they whisper frantically of their love, their fears, their desperate hopes. For long moments, they simply hold each other, drinking in the reality of their reunion. But as the sun rises higher in the sky, they know they cannot linger. The war still rages around them, and there is work to be done. As they make their way back to the city center, Nadya pours out her heart to Ivan, sharing the ideas for peace that have consumed her thoughts during their separation. She speaks of the need for dialogue, for understanding, for reaching across the divides that have torn their country apart. Ivan listens intently, his brow furrowed with concentration. He knows that Nadya's vision is a daring one, that it will require courage and sacrifice and a willingness to confront hard truths. But he also knows that it is the only way forward, the only path to a Ukraine that is whole and free. Together, they begin to sketch out a plan, a roadmap for the long and difficult journey ahead. They will start with small steps, reaching out to friends and neighbors, building a network of support for the cause of peace. They will work to amplify the voices of the moderate majority, those who reject the hate and division that have poisoned their society. And when the time is right, they will take their message to the highest levels of power, to the leaders who hold the fate of Ukraine in their hands. It is a daunting prospect, but Ivan and Nadya know that they cannot shrink from the challenge. Too much is at stake, too many lives hang in the balance. As they work, their love for each other and for their country burns brighter than ever. They draw strength from their bond, from the knowledge that they are fighting not just for themselves, but for the future of all Ukrainians. There will be obstacles ahead, setbacks and moments of doubt. But Ivan and Nadya know that they will face them together, hand in hand, heart to heart. They have found each other again in the midst of the chaos, and nothing will tear them apart. And so, with hope in their hearts and determination in their eyes, they set out on the long road to peace. It is a journey that will test them to their limits, but one they know they must undertake. For the sake of their love, for the sake of their country, for the sake of all those who dream of a better tomorrow. The plan. As they settle into the small, abandoned apartment that serves as their temporary base, Nadya pulls out the notebook where she has been sketching out her ideas for peace. The pages are filled with her neat, precise handwriting, the margins crowded with annotations and questions. "Here's what I've been thinking," she says, spreading the notebook open on the rickety table. "We need a multi-pronged approach, one that addresses the root causes of the conflict while also providing immediate support to those most affected." Ivan leans in, his eyes scanning the pages with intense focus. "Tell me more," he says, his voice soft but encouraging. Nadya takes a deep breath, organizing her thoughts. "First, we need to work on building bridges between the different factions. There's so much distrust, so much hatred on all sides. We have to find a way to get people talking to each other, to see each other as human beings again." She points to a list of names and organizations. "I've been reaching out to moderates on both sides, people who are tired of the fighting and want to find a peaceful solution. I think if we can bring them together, create a space for dialogue and understanding, it could be a powerful first step." Ivan nods, his finger tracing the names. "It won't be easy," he cautions. "There are a lot of wounds, a lot of grievances on all sides." "I know," Nadya says, her voice heavy with the weight of the task ahead. "But we have to try. We can't let the voices of hate and division be the only ones heard." She flips to another page, this one filled with sketches and diagrams. "At the same time, we need to be working on the ground, providing support to the communities most affected by the war. There are so many people who have lost everything, who are struggling just to survive. Nadya's voice catches, her eyes misting with tears. I've seen it firsthand at the hospital. The physical wounds are just the beginning. There's so much trauma, so much grief. We need to be there for them, to help them rebuild their lives. Ivan reaches out, taking her hand in his. What do you have in mind? He asks gently. Nadya squeezes his hand, drawing strength from his touch. I think we need to create a network of support, one that includes everything from mental health services to job training to housing assistance. We need to show people that there is hope, that there is a future beyond the war. She flips to the final page, the one that outlines her most ambitious idea. Ultimately, though, we need to be working towards a political solution. The violence won't end until there's a real, lasting peace agreement. Ivan's eyebrows shoot up. You want to get involved in the negotiations? He asks, his voice a mix of surprise and admiration. Nadya nods, her jaw set with determination. I know it seems crazy, she admits. But I can't just sit back and watch anymore. I have to do something, even if it's just adding our voices to the call for peace. She points to a list of names, politicians, and diplomats from Ukraine and beyond. I've been reaching out to anyone who will listen, trying to build support for a comprehensive peace process. It's a long shot, but if we can get enough people on board, if we can create enough pressure. She trails off, her eyes distant with the magnitude of the challenge ahead. But then she shakes herself, her gaze locking with Ivan's. I have to believe it's possible, she says softly. I have to believe that there's a way out of this, a way to build a better future for our country. Ivan looks at her for a long moment, his eyes shining with love and respect. If anyone can do it, he says at last, it's you. And I'll be with you every step of the way. Nadya smiles, a real smile that lights up her whole face. Raise 'em, together, she says, holding his hand tightly. We'll do it together. And with that, they bend over the notebook, two hearts and minds united in the quest for peace, ready to take on the impossible and make it real. Together. In the days that follow, Ivan and Nadya throw themselves into their work with a passion that borders on obsession. They reach out to their contacts, build alliances, and slowly, painstakingly, begin to put Nadya's plan into action. It is not easy. There are setbacks and obstacles at every turn, moments when the task seems insurmountable. But through it all, they have each other, and the unbreakable bond of their love. Late at night, huddled together in the darkness of their hideout, they talk for hours, dreaming of the future they hope to build. They speak of the Ukraine they remember from their childhood, a land of golden wheat fields and vibrant cities, of rich culture and warm, welcoming people. They speak, too, of the Ukraine they hope to create, a nation that is free and democratic, where all people can live in peace and dignity. It is a beautiful dream, one that brings tears to their eyes and fire to their hearts. But it is more than just a dream. With every passing day, with every small victory and hard-won ally, it is becoming a reality. There are moments of pure magic, when everything seems to fall into place. Like the day they organize a secret meeting between a group of Ukrainian and Russian mothers who have lost sons to the war. At first, the women are wary, their grief and anger still raw. But as they begin to share their stories, as they weep and embrace, something extraordinary happens. The walls between them crumble, and they see each other not as enemies, but as sisters in sorrow. It is a small miracle, but it gives Ivan and Nadya hope. If these women, who have suffered the worst that war has to offer, can find a way to connect, then perhaps there is hope for their divided nation. There are other moments, too, of quiet joy amidst the chaos. Stolen kisses in the shadows, whispered words of love and encouragement. In those moments, the war and all its horrors seem to fade away, and there is only the two of them, hearts beating as one. But even as their love grows stronger, so too do the dangers they face. There are those who see their efforts as a threat, who would stop at nothing to silence them. They live in constant fear of discovery, knowing that a single misstep could spell disaster. And yet, they persevere. They have each other, and they have their mission. They will not rest until Ukraine is free, until the dream of peace is made real. One evening, as they sit together watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and gold, Ivan turns to Nadya, his eyes shining with emotion. "I never thought I could love someone the way I love you," he says softly, his voice rough with feeling. "You've given me hope in the darkest of times, shown me that there's still beauty in the world." Nadya smiles, her hand finding his in the fading light. "And you've given me strength," she whispers. "The courage to keep fighting, even when all seems lost." They sit in silence for a long moment, their hearts full to bursting. And then, as the last rays of the sun dip below the horizon, Ivan pulls Nadya close and kisses her deeply, pouring all his love and longing into that single, perfect moment. Tomorrow, they know, the struggle will continue. There will be more battles to fight, more hearts to win. But for now, in this sacred space between day and night, there is only their love, pure and indestructible. And with that love to guide them, they know that anything is possible. That even in the darkest of times, there is always a flicker of hope, a chance for a brighter dawn. Hand in hand, hearts united, they turn their faces to the future, ready to meet whatever challenges lie ahead. For they are Ivan and Nadya, two souls forged in the crucible of war, bound together by a love that can move mountains and change the world. And together, they will build the Ukraine of their dreams, one act of courage, one moment of grace at a time. Until the day when peace reigns at last, and all the tears and sacrifices are finally, beautifully, worth it. Growing feelings. As they walk through the shattered streets of Kiev, Nadya feels a wave of emotions washing over her. The relief of having Ivan by her side again is overwhelming, a physical ache in her chest that threatens to consume her. But beneath that relief, there is also a growing sense of something else, a feeling that has been building in her heart during their long separation. It is love, she realizes with a startling clarity. A love deeper and more profound than anything she has ever known. She glances at Ivan, taking in the strong lines of his profile, the determination in his eyes. He has always been a source of strength for her, a rock in the tumultuous sea of their lives. But now, after all they have endured, she sees him in a new light. He is more than just her friend, her companion in the struggle. He is the other half of her soul, the missing piece that makes her whole. The realization takes her breath away, makes her steps falter on the uneven ground. Ivan notices her stumble and reaches out to steady her, his hand warm and strong on her arm. "Are you all right?" he asks, concern etched into his features. Nadya nods, not trusting herself to speak. How can she put into words the depth of what she is feeling, the way her heart seems to expand and contract with every breath he takes? Instead, she focuses on the task at hand, on the plans for peace that have consumed her thoughts for so long. She knows that the road ahead will be difficult, that they will face opposition from all sides. There are those who profit from the chaos, who see the war as an opportunity to seize power and wealth. They will not give up easily, will fight tooth and nail to preserve the status quo. And then there are the wounds of the past, the deep-rooted hatreds and resentments that have festered for generations. Nadya knows that healing those wounds will take time, that it will require patience and compassion and a willingness to confront painful truths. But she also knows that it is the only way forward, the only path to a future where their children can grow up without fear, without the constant specter of violence and death. As she shares her thoughts with Ivan, she sees the same determination reflected in his eyes, the same fierce commitment to the cause of peace. And in that moment, she knows that there is no one else she would rather have by her side, no one else she would trust with her heart and her hopes. The love she feels for him is a beacon in the darkness, a light that guides her steps and gives her strength. With Ivan beside her, she feels invincible, feels that anything is possible. And so, as they walk on through the ruined city, hand in hand and heart to heart, Nadya lets herself imagine a future beyond the war. A future where their love can flourish, where they can build a life together in a Ukraine that is whole and at peace. It is a dream that seems impossibly distant, a hope that feels fragile in the face of so much destruction. But it is a dream worth fighting for, worth sacrificing for. And with Ivan by her side, Nadya knows that she will never stop fighting, never stop believing in the possibility of a better tomorrow.